Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Are we live? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we're live and we're back. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome back, guys. Another Thursday live on Thunder Pro YouTube channel. Hello, Luigi. Hello, Carola. Let's wait a minute. Leave me a message, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you can hear me and see my screen. If you can see my screen and hear my voice, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment down in the chat. Hello, Michele. Hello, Carola. Thanks for the message. Congratulations, Carola, for your prop. You just went live. Congratulations. We're going to start in a minute. And near the first payout. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Great to hear. Hello, hello, and welcome. So let's start this day. So, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, traders. As always, a big thank you to Thunder Pro for making these live sessions possible. I'm Michele Rossi. For the new people in here that maybe they don't know me, I'm Michele Rossi. I'm from Italy. And today we're going deep into what's really driving the markets right now. So the perfect storm of fundamentals, sentiment, and global headlines. As you know, I base my trading on fundamental analysis, intermarket, sentiment analysis, and then technicals. Technicals without the other three pillars means nothing to me. This said, just a quick reminder, this isn't financial advice. It's pure market education, free, designed to help you understand why the market moves, not just how. So let's start with the fundamental pillars. The first one, because what's happening today is massive, super, super massive, I would say. Oil and gold are both surging. You can see from the chart, both surging. Okay. And when those two rise together, it means one thing: risk off. We're talking about a global flight to safety. Oil is up more than 5%. after Trump's administration hit Russia's two biggest oil producers with new sanctions, Rosenfeld and Lukoil, sending shockwaves through the entire energy market. That single move is now reshaping supply lines across Europe and Asia. India's reliance is cutting Russian crude imports. Refiners in Slovakia are panicking, and even China's energy giants are under pressure after the UK extended sanctions to their petrochemical partners. All of this drives oil prices higher, pushing inflation expectation, which is the core that we want to see, higher. And every time inflation rises, the Fed's next rate cut moves further away. That's why we're seeing this clear market rotation. Dollar up, gold up, Nasdaq down. It's not technical. It's fundamental logic. So when the cost of energy spikes, investors seek protection. Gold becomes the safe haven. The dollar becomes the edge, and high growth tech bleeds. But here's where things get even more interesting. Tesla is back in the headlines, and not because of cars. Elon Musk just reignited a war with Wall Street, calling shareholder advisory firms corporate terrorists for opposing his $1 trillion pay package. Yes, $1 trillion. You've heard correctly. That's more than the GDP of most countries. Now think what that means for the market. When a single CEO's compensation package equals 3% of US GDP growth for a quarter, we're no longer talking about company performance. We're talking about systemic influence. Investors are now asking, is Tesla a car company, a cult, or a macro catalyst? And Musk knows it. His every move shapes sentiment across the entire Nasdaq. So while Tesla fell after earnings, the narrative keeps volatility alive because markets move not on logic, but on, you can say it in the chat, why market moves if it does not move because of logic. Right, because of sentiment. Think about that. And speaking of narrative, Trump just floated one of the most explosive ideas we've heard in decades. Yes, because the blonde guy speak, of course. That's what I'm saying. He's resetting the US deficit using Bitcoin. Let that sink in for a moment. This idea is that the US could leverage its digital reserves and Bitcoin adoption to restructure or even partially offset debt. It's speculative, yes, but in an election year, narratives move money. Crypto traders already reacted. Bitcoin bounced sharply off the lows after the biggest crash in history just a few days ago as Trump's comments sparked renewed hope of a government-backed adoption cycle. So let's try to connect the dots. Oil is surging on sanctions. Gold is surging on fear. And Bitcoin is suddenly being mentioned in the same breath as a US debt policy. That's not a normal week. It's the first happening in 15 years that I'm in the business. That's an economic earthquake. Now, moving to the intermarket pillar, the second pillar. This is where it all ties together. Higher on oil means higher yields because investors expect inflation to last longer. Higher yields push down tech valuation, like the Nasdaq. At the same time, gold and Bitcoin moving in the same direction tell us investors are looking for alternative stores of value. That's pure definition of a defensive rotation. Meanwhile, automakers and semiconductor stocks are sliding. Nexperia China just rejected a legal authority of its Dutch headquarters, essentially saying, "We're no longer under your control." That's a fracture in the global supply chain, and it's bad news for Europe's tech sector and the DAX, DAX, the German index. Let's breathe for a moment. Now the sentiment pillar, our third pillar. Markets are scared, not because of what's happened, but because of what could happen next. The Russia sanctions, the energy crisis, the crypto volatility, the corporate drama, they're all creating a climate of confusion. When traders don't trust data, and remember, the US government is still in shutdown. So when the traders doesn't trust data, they react to headlines. And headlines are emotional by nature. So volatility spikes, fear returns, and the market becomes a battlefield of overreactions. Right? Is that clear? Does this make sense to you guys? So where do you think are the key zones on Nasdaq? At the moment, we've already talking about from a technical perspective, we already swept the Asian session low and had the super pullback on the high side towards the round number $25,000. And we're looking at the futures chart now. Price then come back and test these again. The low of Asia failed to break down. It failed and bounced back once more. Does this view aligns with what we've said a minute ago? Do you understand the connection in between what's happening in the market under a fundamental intermarket and sentiment overview? Does this align with what we expect more likely the price to do? So this is going to be a scalp session, of course, as always, because we cannot stay here for hours, but we have a clear bias. We have a clear bias, and based on this bias, we're going to use these levels on the Nasdaq to understand what is more likely to happen based on all this information that we have. S&P 500 that you see, so ES on the futures, but you can trade these on both CFDs or futures. Okay. As you can see, the S&P 500 on a daily chart failed to create a new higher high, and we're heading lower. So that's a retracement on the downside. I think with more probability. So if oil and gold are ripping, which set a classic risk-off mix, higher inflation expectation, pressure on rate sensitive like NASDAQ, where we're heading. Fresh Russia energy sanctions plus supply shocks, sticky yields, firm USD, tech multiplies compress. Headlines are skewed to escalation, not relief. Do you agree? Bearish? More likely. More likely. It doesn't mean we're going to enter a trade and hit the take profit or stop loss. That's not the point. The point here is to understand. Yes. Okay. When I'd flip to buy the dip instead, if the dollar, so the DXY, and the 10 years yield back off together, oil stalls or fades intraday, and market breadth improves. Do you agree, guys? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Hi, Alice. Thanks for being here. Hello, Serena. Hello, Yonut. Hello, Just Trader. He has to take yesterday's low. Yes, that's another good point. That's another key area. If we're looking at the S&P, we're right in the middle. Right here, this is the previous day high, previous day low. If we're looking at the NAS, let's mark up the high and the low. If the charts allow me to do so. Doesn't allow me. I have a slow connection today because we have a storm outside. Sorry about that. So, by the way, let me mark up this low and this high. Okay. There you go. What it's missing at this very moment is the economic calendar. That's what we're missing. The U.S. government still in shutdown mode. That means we're not seeing news such as NFPs, jobless claims, etc. So it's usually much harder to follow a clean path, a clean direction. So I usually stay away from this day, but as an educational point, we're going to try to catch a trade today together to see if that aligns with our fundamental overview. But if we take the low, will continue or not? What do you think? Well, that's about what I've just said a few minutes ago. So that's the main bias. If we take the low, I don't know what's next. I don't know. I cannot predict that. What I usually do is I wait for the price, and sometimes we can do this live. Sometimes it happens before or after, because it can be during the day. This is going to be a scalp session, so it's going to be aggressive and fast. Hopefully we got a good setup aligned with the overall bias. But what I tend to do is I mark up the chart and I wait for the price to hit this point. So I wait for the price to reach this point and see how it reacts. So let's say the price goes down right here and fake and retest and start to go higher. That's where I want to enter and buy back. Or if I'm looking for a shorter trade, so more scalp, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and look at the price to take this Asia low or London low or London high or Asia high, and then I see how it react at that price. Let's say I'm bearish, as I am today on Nasdaq because of what we said. I'm gonna wait for the price to hit that point and see if I have a rejection on the 1 minute chart. I'm gonna place a sell and try to bring it from here to here, so from support to resistance. Okay, of course that's a super aggressive scalping approach. But I try to catch trade that, so I might have more losses than win, but with higher risk to reward. So let's say I'm on a live account, I tend to trade and cut my wins with a 1-to-1 risk to reward, just to keep the consistency if I'm on the futures like I am now. And yes, I'm gonna place the trade on, I cannot share the whole full screen because it's gonna be complicated. And I'm gonna place the trades on Funded Pro live account. It's the same that you saw last week. We took a couple of trades together and make this profit. And when I'm on challenges, I tend to be more aggressive and try to ride the wave. So yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Let's wait for the market open and see how it reacts. Got a minute. If you have question, any types of question, leave it in the chat. Ten seconds at the opening. So if we can stay above 25,000 at the market opening, we might see the price even reach the London high and Asia high, and from there we can short. If we break below, we might see the price going down here. From here, we're gonna look for a continuation on the downside. That's my play at the moment. I'm gonna wait for the first 5 minutes. And I will mark up the high and the low of the first 5 minutes, which is gonna be my OR opening range. The first opening range I'm looking at is 5-minute opening range, is the orb strategy. It's a simple support and resistance range. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm gonna add a anchored VWAP at the opening and look at the correlation with the S&P 500 on the right chart. See if we break above this area, 6,750 right here, I will have more conviction to the upside. If not, we're gonna wait. Still a lot of indecision. We have our first 5-minute opening range. Let's mark it up. The price is moving in between a small price range. We have 48 points of range, which is quite small for the first 5 minutes. That signals a lot of indecision. You see the body candles of the opening. The first minute is super low, super small, sorry. That means a lot of indecision. If we break above, I'm gonna get a buy. If we break above, I'm gonna enter a long position right here, target right here, stop loss below the midline of the orb. And I'm in the trade. I'm in a trade. There you go. On my funded account, my take profit is going to be somewhere around here. 1-to-1 risk to reward. This is where my TP is going to be. TP1 or break even or whatever, full out, partial, whatever you want. There you go. So now it's a little bit scary because we want the price of the ES to break above this area of resistance. If we break this area, we're gonna be heading higher. If it's rejected, we're gonna go back. So let's move these back a little bit. So you can either take a partial or move the stop loss a little bit higher. That means you don't want to risk the full TP. Whatever works best for you. There you go. There you go. There you go. Another little push. I'm gonna go break even right now. I'm at break even, a little bit above the break even area. S&P is gonna break above. Looks like. I'm out of the live account. I'm out. You see we're hitting that resistance. I'm out on the live accounts. I'm staying in the challenge. I will take I just took a partial. Sorry, took a partial on TP. I'm gonna go break even at the moment. So the original stop loss was here. Let's see if we got the full 1 or 2 risk to reward. If the S&P manages to break above this area, we're heading higher, and so the NAS. Magnificent 8 looks quite choppy at the moment. You guys took the trade? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Oh, it's pushing. It's pushing. It is pushing. Let's go. Ragazzi, avete preso il trade? You guys took a trade? Let me know in the chat. Fatemelo sapere in chat. Now look, look. Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So right now, if you're still in the trade, you might expect at this very moment, and the scenario might change real quick because it's a scalping strategy, you might see the price go and retest the enter area and go up or go down. I don't know what is going to happen. Just protect yourself, because at this very moment, it doesn't have sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me to have the full stop loss still active, but you do you. Make your choice. Still a lot of indecision right here. Look, but I guess we created the higher of the orb right here. Away from the 15-minute orb. Ragazzi, avete preso un trade? Fatemelo sapere in chat. If you took a trade, took a win with me, let me know in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Look at that. Look at that. Can we hit the second TP? I don't know. Let's see. Now it's a risk-free trade. It's a risk-free trade. Okay? It's a risk-free trade. Look at the ES. It breaks above. It breaks above. Now we're heading higher. The next TP is going to be 25,100 right here. There you go. Took another partial. And let's go out. This is another account, $370. So 500. Let's go for the full TP. Let's go for the full TP. Another point, another point, another point, another point. Come on, come on, come on. Push. Push, push, push. Guys, I'm trading. I'm not leaving this beautiful trade on the chart. I'm trading. This is my stop loss at the moment. And full TP. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Full TP. Full TP. $600. $600. Risk it 200 to make 600. Let's go. Let's go. Let me know in the chat if you took the trade with me. Let me know if you took a win Let me know in the chat, leave a W in the chat if you took a trade with me and you took profit. Lasciatemi una W nella chat se avete fatto profitto qua live con me, in diretta, gratis, with Funder Pro. Congratulations, Michele. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Motivation Avenue, great. Congrats. Super clean move. Hey, Michele, but you said the price is more likely going down. Yes, exactly. But what did we say before of the live? If we hit this major point of resistance, because we already took the Asian low 3 times, okay, we might expect the price more likely to go this way, hit this area, and then we decide. Still, the bias based on fundamentals is bearish. So if you didn't took any trade, you might consider, but you have to be very careful. You have to look at the chart and see how price react at this higher point right here. Let's say we have the 50-minute orb. Let's say if we go higher, we break above the Asia high that we're missing for a few points, 20, 30 points on the NASDAQ. We sweep that point and we start to create a lower low and lower high scenario and price action. You might expect a move like this. You might expect a move like this, which usually happens the double break of the orb. The double break of the orb means that it's going to break the high and the low of the orb. This type of scenario happens in the last 1 year, in the last 12 months. It happened 83.5% of the time. So it's a high probability setup. So take a look at how the price is going to react at this point. It just break above. If it re-enters and break the low, you might want to try a sell. Okay, my day is done. I'm done for the day. I usually do not trade in this kind of conditions with lot of conflicting headlines and market uncertainty. I usually do not do that. So as a solely purpose of showing you guys a sort of a consistency on the strategy, I showed you how you can read the price action in the market in day like these too. But yeah, that's it for the day for me. I'm happy that you had the chance to see such a big move. When we lose one. When we make profit, we make at least 1.5 or 2. Okay? As I said. So this is the next move I expect. It might not happen. If it happens, I might take that trade. So if you guys have questions, please leave it down the chat. I'm gonna be in this live for another minute or two if we don't have any question. In the meantime, let me say that was a powerful session. Even in a storm like this, you've seen how our 4 pillars frameworks, fundamental, intermarket, sentiment, and technical works keeps you grounded and one step ahead. Because when everyone else is reacting emotionally, we're reading structure, context, and flow. Massive thanks again to Funder Pro for supporting real education and real trading, not the fantasy version. If you want to join me live next Thursday, use the code the live that you see right below, right here, or right here, I don't know, at the checkout for an exclusive discount and trade the markets in real time with me. And don't forget, Monday, we're back with a new weekly prep on the Funder Pro Instagram channel, where we'll build the roadmap for the entire week ahead together. Again, I'm Michele Rossi. You can follow me on Instagram with the Italian account. It's going to be Michele Rossi Official. The international account is going to be Michele Rossi Official ENG, English. Both of them are verified with blue check mark, so be sure to follow the right one. And remember, market don't move because of the lines you draw on the chart, okay? They move because of the news, the emotions, and the power shifts that shape our world. So thanks again and see you next time. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Ciao.